Swear it. Swear, if it isn't dead, if it ever comes back, we'll come back.
Trauma is something that plagues, well, I would say all of us. I can't think of a single person in the world that has not experienced it. Maybe not all to the same level or extent, but we all have had to experience a form of trauma, either as a child or as adults. We all handle trauma differently too. It is how we handle our trauma that makes us who we are. It is how we combat our trauma that defines us as we grow. It, Chapter 1 and 2 are about trauma and how it affects us emotionally, how we will combat it, fight it, and overcome it, how trauma makes us into the people we will be. Will we make jokes about our trauma? Will we create stories based on it? Do we decide to embrace it into our day-to-day life and have it follow us as we grow older? Will our trauma make us stronger, where we no longer fear it? Will we climb out of the hole of trauma and completely reverse it to become more than we ever imagined? Or will our trauma and fear overpower us to where we can't handle it any longer? I have loved Stephen King since I first read one of his novels. I have enjoyed so many of his books, and I love seeing his stories come to life on the big screen. The original story from King is obviously the main inspiration for these two films, as well as the miniseries, but there is something I think that these two films did differently that spoke to me. Each member of the Losers Club is a relatable character, someone we can sympathize with, a character that helps us feel like we aren't alone, a character we can put ourselves in place of. Like being an overly anxious hypochondriac or being ashamed of our bodies, a guilt-driven person with a stutter, not living up to our family's religious expectations, or being sexualized because of our gender, or just judged because of the color of your skin. Having these types of struggles with our characters makes them more relatable, more sympathetic. It creates a way for the audience to become part of the story. And seeing where these struggles stem from helps the audience see each character with more depth. Seeing why Eddie is so anxious and overwhelmed with his health, or why Ben is so self-conscious about his weight, how Bill handles losing his brother and dealing with his stutter, Stan being a disappointment to his dad, Beverly becoming sexualized by dirty men, or Mike dealing with racism. We see these scenes play out, and we begin to feel a part of their life. We start to feel in ourselves the same heartache and pain from our own struggles. Derry is created to be a horrible place, to represent the horrors in the world that surround us every day. That's why Henry is so terrifying, and why watching the adults be so careless, helpless, and racist is so sickening. It's because Derry is all the horrors of the world wrapped up into one single town. And Pennywise represents the fear that surfaces from trauma. Anyone with memories they wish they could change knows how it can find us as we get older, and how we have to choose to face these memories, or let fear define us. When we watch the losers fight, it brings us hope. We watch each of these kids battle through so much hurt, losing family and being severely bullied or abused by their parents, and they never stop fighting. Not just for themselves, but for each other. The hope we feel inspires us to do the same, to face our fears and our anxieties, our depression, our addictions, because we know we can overcome them. And we never have to do any of it alone. We have our own Losers Club of people who struggle, others who are hurting from fear and trauma. They're our friends. And these friends can be anybody, family, loved ones, and even fictional characters, people who build their homes in our hearts. We are all plagued by fear, hatred, and evil all around us. We are all fighting every day. We get out of bed to continue fighting each day. We face our fears, and we do it because it's a promise we made to ourselves, to the ones who built their homes in our hearts. They will always live right there with us, through the fight, through the trauma, all the way to our happiest days. This movie tells a story that gives us hope based on characters that help us feel less lonely. They develop 7 characters so well, the audience is left knowing they can do it. The audience gets strength seeing these characters grow, from being terrorized and hurt to winning the fight, seeing fully fleshed out characters find the strength to carry on, showing us what it really means to be a loser. So dear losers, wherever you are and whoever you are, whatever monster is after you, if your monster is depression, anxiety, systematic racism, feeling ashamed for just existing, or being afraid to be yourself, maybe it's even addiction, whatever it might be, it's okay to be afraid. But don't fight these monsters alone. Have a losers club of your own, where you all can be who you want to be and fight together. When you find someone that means so much to you, hold them close and never let them go. Follow your dreams wherever they lead you. Let this video be a promise to you, to me, to each other. An oath that when the monsters come back, when these monsters come after us, we'll always return to fight them. When trauma haunts us, we will confront it together. Be brave, be proud, be strong, and don't ever forget that we're all losers. And that's a beautiful thing. It doesn't matter where we are, as long as we know we are all fighting together. That's what really matters. You see, the thing about being a loser is you have nothing left to lose.